a different date.
Alexa, no. We're done.
It was later revealed that Joseph Hazelwood, the captain of the
Alexa,
Valdez, was drinking.
no.
Visit history.com
Alexa,
to learn.
stop. Alexa, fuck you.
I don't have an opinion on that.
Fuck you.
She's a little angry or something.
It's really kind of great, though.
Yeah,
I mean, she really is kind of
We
fun.
do get weather updates. We get traffic updates before we head to work in the morning from her. She's tied into that stuff.
And then we stick her on the fridge.
Then we
She's kinda
unplug her and
pissed
put her
off.
on the fridge, and she gets upset about that because we don't want her to get eaten by the dogs. But yeah, I mean, it's technology has done a great deal of help to us in our daily lives. Okay, it's also hindered us in a lot of ways. For example, one of the things that we have really we've been talking about for the past few days, especially, is petitions, online petitions.
Boo.
Now, I'm sure everybody out there that uses Facebook has seen those things coming through those news feeds. Sign the petition to help stop blah, blah, blah. Sign the petition to support blah, blah, blah. Honestly, they don't really do a whole lot. Okay? What these online petitions are touted as doing is getting your voice and your opinion out there and helping to make change.
And your personal information.
No, that's not that. That's what they're touted as. They're touted as trying to help you with your cause. Okay? Well, they have no legal basis, honestly. Okay? Say you want to save the pigeons in Phoenix. So you go to one of these petition sites and you create a Save the Pigeons petition. And you get 200,000 people to sign this petition. Okay, now what? Because it has no legal bearing, it doesn't have any, there's nothing that who do you turn them into? Okay, so say you get 100,000 people that want to save the pigeon, you turn that into the, say, Phoenix City Council, for example. Okay, so you go in there and you say, here are 100,000 people in Phoenix, or 100,000 people that are for saving the pigeons, and we want you to do something about it. There is no legal binding of those petitions at all. All it is there's 100,000 people that think you should save the petitions. And the politician looks at it and says, okay, thanks, fine, we'll take it under advisement, and that's the end of it. Now, think about what these online petitions are really doing, okay? And Kara just alluded to that a second ago. They require your name, your address, email address, yada, 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 right? And then you sign this petition. And once you do that, they now have all of your contact information they put in the database. And for a lot of people in the United States that keep complaining about the lack of privacy, you just open the door to let them take that privacy to another whole nother level. So there you go. Here, you just handed over all your personal information just so you could sign a fucking petition.
But do you feel safer? Do you feel more free or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
bullshit?
did it help your liberty by giving them your information so they can now put it into a database, sell it to the highest bidders, not bidder, but bidders, because they'll sell it to whoever they can make a dime from. Also think about the idea that every time somebody shares that petition, they are getting free advertising because people click on that link and they go to their website to look at that petition, and what do they see? A bunch of advertisements. Okay? So not only are they taking your personal information, they are bombarding you with advertisements, which they get paid for. So they're getting paid for your information that they can sell, and then they're getting paid by companies to advertise on that site. All for something that just won't do shit. So, our advice from Progressive Voices of Arizona is to quit using those stupid petitions because they don't really do a whole lot. Now, there are some online petitions that are valuable. Okay? The WhiteHouse.gov Voice of the People petitions are valuable because you have to be a registered voter, you have to actually give your information and everything. And it basically what happens is if you have a petition that you send in, if you get, I believe it's 100,000 people to sign it, then the White House has to make a response according to the law. They will respond to your petition. Okay, that at least is something, as opposed to, yeah, we'll take it under advisement, and they throw the whole 100,000 people that signed the petition into the trash can and burn it. They actually pay attention to this stuff. Okay, there are some other petitions. For example, here in Arizona, we have what's called equal system. So during election time, your candidate is trying to either get signatures or clean election funding. You can sign their petition, nomination petition, online, or you can do it on paper, either one. But that is legitimate, and it's a legal thing. It's legally binding. And I'm sure that some other states probably have something similar, depending on where they're at. So there are some petitions that you see online, but for the most part, if you're going to, for example, in Arizona, if you're going to sign somebody's petition for office and whatnot like that, you go to a government website to do that, because legally that's what they tried to do this petition to recall the superintendent of public instruction a couple of years ago, or last year, or whenever the hell it was. No, it was 2014, wasn't it?
I think they're still trying.
Yeah. But so they sent out this petition, this online petition through one of the major petition websites, recall blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, that's not how government works, okay? To recall said politician, you have to actually file with the Secretary of State's office. You have to actually raise funding. You have to actually get signatures on the petition to force the recall, which then have to be counted by the Secretary of State's office, verified that they are registered voters and that you reach the minimum required number of signatures before it even does it right.
And it's not cheap.
It's not cheap. It's expensive. It's not quick. So we need 100,000 people by next Friday. Okay, in a real petition for real causes that actually have a legal impact, yeah, it's not going to happen.
And
that fast.
Impeaching our current president?
Oh, no, that's another topic. We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Hold your horses.
All right.
Hold your little spandies.
The fuck?
I don't know. It just came out.
Okay.
Online petitions. If you really enjoy doing that, I mean, more power to you. But honestly, they just don't do a whole lot.
Please work in your local level.
If you really want to do something to create change, help somebody get elected to the city council. Help somebody get elected to the school board. Help somebody get elected to the mayor or to the fire board or to your legislative districts for the state. It's what you really need to do, okay? Signing a petition online doesn't create change, okay? Getting off your butt, getting out from behind the computer or the phone or whatever, and actually engaging in stuff in your neighborhood is what creates change. So let's start focusing more on that portion and less on the whole, petition thing. Because it's just, honestly, you're just basically bowing down to these companies that are making bucks off of you by signing these petitions and sharing them around Facebook. They're double tapping you. Okay, they're getting advertising and they're getting your information they can sell. Boom, they've won twice. So let's move on away from that kind of stuff and actually just start getting involved in your local community. I'm sure most communities have like a food bank that needs help raising funding. Food. You've got homeless problems. You've got people living in poverty. There's a lot of things that can be done at the local level without having to actually sign a fucking petition. So let's think about that. Moving right along, we're going to go to the next little topic. What was it you were just saying a second ago? Something about spank pants or something like that? Spanky pants?
Let's impeach the president. Oh, really?
Okay. So now we're going to talk a little bit about government. Okay? Government. Not online petitions to impeach the president, but government. Because an online petition to impeach a president is worthless. Okay? It does nothing. One of the things that we've noticed over the past 2 to 3 decades, for those of you that are old like me, is that people don't understand how government works. At all.
They don't understand what the 3 branches are and what the function of each of those branches are. And that's really sad.
Well, it's not even that. I mean, they just don't understand the differences between Congress and the Senate and the presidency. Okay.
Obama's doing all this wrong. No, it's because he's getting blocked at every turn
Right.
by Congress. People just, you're right. They just don't get the rules.
So we're going to educate you tonight. Okay. Now, impeachment. That is something that has to be done at our nation's capital. Okay. 4 times in history has Congress held discussions of presidential impeachment. Okay. The first was Andrew Johnson. He was actually impeached when Congress became unhappy with the way he was dealing with some post-Civil War matters. He was acquitted by the Senate by 1 vote, and he remained in office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Congress introduced a resolution to impeach John Tyler over states' right issues, but that resolution failed. Congress was debating Nixon's impeachment over Watergate, but he resigned. And Bill Clinton was impeached by the House on charges of perjury and obstruction of justice in relationship to his affair with the White House intern Monica Lewinsky. He was eventually acquitted by the Senate. Okay. So, people don't seem to understand the fact that a petition running around online or in person cannot call for an impeachment of the president. It doesn't work that way. It has to be done first, usually through the House. The House will somebody in the House will actually introduce a resolution to impeach said president. Okay. Then it goes through committee and it gets voted on and blah, blah, blah. They have hearings, which cost a shitload of taxpayer money, as we saw during the Bill Clinton era. Basically what happens is they submit the resolution, and that goes to the House Judiciary Committee. And they decide whether or not to proceed with the impeachment. Not a petition that's going around Facebook, but the House Judiciary Committee in U.S. Congress makes that decision. Okay. Based on the inquiry, they'll actually, if they think that the chairman of the Judiciary Committee is the person that actually proposes the resolution calling for the Judiciary Committee to begin formal inquiry into the issue of impeachment. Okay. Yeah, that's a lot of words. Based on the inquiry, the Judiciary Committee will then send another resolution to the full House stating that impeachment is warranted and why, which is called the Articles of Impeachment, or that impeachment is not called for because there was no violation, impeachment level in violations. Okay. The full House will debate and vote on each article of impeachment. So the full House will actually debate on it, and it will finally go into vote. Should any one of the articles of impeachment be approved by a simple majority vote, the president will be impeached. However, being impeached is sort of like being indicted of a crime. There still has to be a trial, which is where the U.S. Senate comes in. Now, the article when it goes to the Senate, the articles of impeachment are received by from the House into the Senate. And I'm fast forwarded too far. Okay. The Senate actually formulates rules and procedures for holding the trial of the president. The trial is then held. The president will be represented by his lawyers. A select group of House members will serve as prosecutors. The Chief Justice of the Supreme Court will preside with all 100 senators acting as the jury. The Senate will then meet in private session to debate a verdict. Then the Senate, in open session, will vote on the verdict. It's necessary to get a 2/3 vote of the Senate to result in a conviction. Okay? Here again, it's not a petition that gets sent around the internet that does that. If the Senate actually does result in conviction, then the vote will remove the president from office. The Senate may also vote by simple majority to prohibit the president from holding any public office in the future. Okay? So, people, if you really want to actually make a difference, figure out exactly what your government actually does and how the process works. Okay? Impeachment is not a petition on the internet. An impeachment petition on the internet is basically a whole bunch of people screaming and yelling about the president, and it has no impact on whether or not he's going to get impeached. So don't waste anybody's time. Don't give your money over